Walsh. Well, how are you doing there, lads and ladies? How's it going there? How's she cutting, as we'd say in Ireland? Well, how's the grass? Are you cutting it down nice and trim there now? At around Christmas time. Cheers, the grass, it doesn't grow very fast, does it now in the winter? But anyway, lads, let's get on to it. So guys, this is a short today, just explaining what we're going to be looking forward to in 2024. As many of you know or may not know, I was, for the whole 2023 season, as a former professional racing driver for 13 years, I know racing driving inside out. I'm covering, in the 2023 season, sorry, let's start off there. For the 23 season, I'm basically I've covered all the races, a preview to every single race on the Thursday or the Friday of a race weekend, and then on the Monday morning I'm coming out with the highlights and reaction from that race. And for going forward for the 2024 season, I'm doing the exact same, guys. We're only a couple of months away and I can't wait for it already. I really miss it. It's really cool. And I love trying to give you the insights as well, the behind the scenes and what kind of car is going to go quick. Does this car have the potential? I mean, we've seen some huge surprises in 2023 season. I know some people thought it was a bit of a boring season, but depends on what you're looking for, right? But I thought there was a lot of drama. I mean, Ferrari showed a bit of pace, and I think even for the 2024 season, they're only 0.5% away from really, really bringing the fight to Red Bull. Now, 0.5% to 1%, ladies and gents, is everything. It might sound like a very small amount, but it ain't. It ain't. I mean, they've got the pace for qualifying. Can they get the job done for the race itself? Because that's where Red Bull really had the advantage this year in 2023. And it was such a shame because I love Charles Leclerc. I'm a big fan of his. Such a nice guy too. And, you know, I never really rated Carlos Sainz, but, you know, he's a nice guy. He's a nice guy. And look, he can pull out some quick laps too. And a couple of good performances as well. So hopefully, and I mean, that was very exciting because you always felt in the 2023 season that it would just pop, you know, as in like, oh, this is it, this is the weekend, they're going to put it on pole, and then they do, and then bang, they're gone. You're like, oh, for fuck. So it was like getting hopes up all the time. So, you know, can they get that extra 1% out of the car now for the 2024 season? It's very possible, guys. And I mean, I was always talking about in 2023 where for that season alone, that a lot of the upgrades that they bring to the cars, you can always get, most of the time you'll get that slight advantage, and it'll give you an extra 2 or 3 tenths on the track, which can, by the way, can be fucking huge, right? But again, to get that can be a long distance down the road too. But then, you know what? We saw a huge surprise in McLaren. McLaren the 23 season were down at the back of the grid, maybe at best up the mid-grid, and then they got to Silverstone and they were fucking competing for podiums. Not for the race wins itself, but they were really up there. I mean, they had the mother of all upgrades that would end all upgrades. I mean, it's very, very rare when a team will just go back to the drawing board, say, okay guys, we need to fix this, or we've spotted something here that we could potentially make better, and then they come out of the block and world of difference. I mean, incredible leaps and bounds by McLaren. One of the best of all time. No two ways about it. That's very rare, though, in Formula One. Now, with Ferrari, they're right there. So one good upgrade can get everything clicked into place for them for the 24 season. I think it's going to be very exciting. And the fact that we still have the budget cap, we still have the restriction on testing, etc. The cars have not changed much for the 24 season, so that's going to be brilliant because I think you're going to have Ferrari having even a bigger, better chance to get to the top and get that race endurance set up to perfection level. But again, we'll see. They've got a very good chance though. And then you've got Williams. I mean, my God, Vowles, the team boss, He's done a phenomenal job already, especially in 23. You've got Albon finishing in the top 10. I mean, Jesus, Williams were nowhere. And now they've got one of their boys in the top 10. Not consistently, not properly consistently, but if they make a leap and bound like McLaren have done, they're going to be right up there too. I think it's going to be an epic season ahead. For some feeling, I just don't think Red Bull are going to have the advantage. I think there's going to be the teams that will catch up with them here now this season. But look, hey, Mercedes did it for 6 years in a row with Hamilton. Or was it 7, sorry, with Rosberg. Forgive me, guys. I think it was, 6 years in a row. That's right. So, you never know. But don't be surprised if the other teams start catching up on Red Bull for the 24 season. I think we might have some other surprises, some of the dark horses, because again, even though the smaller teams, they don't have the budget like the bigger teams, they have a year under their belt now with this new budget cap, so they'll have learned things along the way. So don't be surprised if the pack is just formed up again, and it could be even closer again this year for all teams included here. So guys, I can't wait. So just to recap before we close this off, 2024 season, we're going to come up. We're going to follow some of the winter testing and any more updates on F1 news as we go in January. I'll do a couple of podcasts on that, of course, keep you up to date as best as I can. We're going to obviously cover every single round of the 24 season before the race on the Thursday or the Friday. We'll do a preview of that race, a Grand Prix. We're going to cover then the aftermath, the highlights, the reaction of that round. So for each round, there's going to be 2 podcasts. Then we'll have other podcasts throughout the year, F1 news or anything in particular. So guys, I love you and leave you. I want to thank everybody that's followed me on my podcast or social media when it comes to Formula One. I know I talk about dating as well and other things, but a lot of you will just listen to the Formula One, or some of you will listen to both, dating and Formula One, or some of you will just listen to the dating. But anybody that's following me for the racing, I love you guys. I'm going to do my very best again in 24 to keep it real, I suppose. To keep it as real as possible, give you the best feedback I can give as coming from a race driver, and hopefully you'll enjoy. So thanks guys, I love you all for listening, and I hope I do an even better job in 2024. Thanks guys, bye.
Peter Walsh.